a taste of Yogananda's original teachings as expressed by Swami Kriyananda in his autobiography, The New Path. And today is Wednesday, December 29th. And Swami Kriyananda had been invited by Yogananda out to his desert retreat where he was writing and, or dictating, I should say, his next books. And this little incident took place. One evening, Norman, a fellow disciple, and I were sitting with him in the kitchen. The master summoned one of the sisters, whom he asked to fetch a brown paper bag with something in it from his bedroom. When she returned, he switched off the lights. I heard him remove something from the bag. Then a chuckle came playfully. Suddenly, there was a metallic buzzing sound as sparks came leaping out of the toy pistol. Laughing with childlike glee, Master turned the lights back on. Next, from another toy pistol came out of the bag. He shot a tiny parachute into the air. We watched it gravely as it descended to the floor. I was utterly astonished. Master glanced at me merrily, though with covert gaze of calm understanding. How do you like them, Walter? I laughed, trying earnestly to enter into the spirit of the occasion. They're fine, sir. My comment was almost an affirmation. Looking at me deeply now, but with love, he quoted the words of Jesus, "Suffer little children to come unto me, for such is the kingdom of God." One of the most amazing things about the Master was his utter freedom of spirit. In the deepest matters, he maintained the simplicity and lighthearted innocence of a child. In severe trials, he could find cause for joy. This was a very important moment for Swami Kriyananda, as he describes it, because he had always viewed himself as an intellectual pride, and thereby taking oneself seriously. And of course, on the spiritual path, we understand that when this delusion comes over us, when we take ourselves too seriously, it's really our ego selves that we're taking so seriously. And so Yogananda showed him through this humorous exchange the very deep truth of what it was that Yogananda was trying to have Kriyananda tune into. Suffer little children to come unto me, for such is the kingdom of God. It is joy. And later in his life, I was blessed to have known him and lived with him and learned from him for many, many decades, over 4 decades. He left his body in 2013. And he, towards the end of his life especially, but I saw it really throughout his life, there was a river of joy that flowed just beneath even the most serious of tests that came to him. And in the last few years of his life, especially, he could barely speak for that joy, which was very different from the young, robust man who understood the teachings inside out and could explain them so easily to the Western ear, these Eastern teachings of Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religion that Yogananda brought. It wasn't uniquely his. Yogananda said it was a new dispensation. It was an expression that we in this time could understand, and Swami Kriyananda was brilliant in the ways that he was able to explain them so that we in the West could understand them more deeply and more easily. Yet, towards the end of his life, as I said, he could barely speak for the joy. He called it bliss. Joy, bliss. It's the river of grace that flows from God. And so this precious incident that took place at the desert retreat of Yogananda's was a very important moment in his life of understanding that principle and diving deep for that joy. And it is universal. That experience, that blessing that Yogananda gave him is a blessing for you and for me when we try to tune into it from the inside with that understanding and with that resonance. Joy to you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Many blessings. Bye-bye now.